Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here's your host, paranormal researcher Patricia Baker, on the one, the only Supernatural Girls.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girls. I am your host, Patricia Baker, and I'm here with my co-host, Miss PK, all the way from Tucson. How are you doing, PK?
Just watching the dark clouds go all the way around me and not a darn one over my clouds. My house is, forget it.
No
it rains all around me, but not at my house.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, this is not fair. And I grew up 3 blocks up the road. It rains at her house and it won't rain at mine. Does that make sense?
No.
Think God's having partiality here?
Yeah, I think so. We're being singled out for some reason. Yes.
Yes. Well, we've got a few things going for us right now, though. There's a solar eclipse coming on the 21st. And the eclipse is going to take place in the south node of the moon, which means that it's about letting go of the old toxic things, old patterns, things that we no longer need, nothing that will serve us, let it go. And so it's just a good idea, just kind of think about what you want to get rid of, lay it out, and think about seriously letting it go. I tell my clients sometimes, if you got things that are creating problems, visualize yourself throwing them in this big bag. Throw it on the front seat next to you, drive down the road, drop the window, and throw the bag out. You don't care where it's going, you're just not taking it home. I just figured that's a good way of handling it.
I like it.
I thought it works too.
Yeah, it does.
I don't take home anymore.
That's good.
Oh, God. It's been crazy.
Well, it has been a difficult week for a lot of people. And
Yes.
I mean, we've been affected, obviously, by the horrible assassination of Charlie Kirk. And it is so disheartening on the one side. I mean, it leaves a big gaping hole for many people. And yet I have to say that, I mean, it was shocking. It was everything I never wanted to see again in this world.
Right.
However, when I looked at the energies a couple days later, one of the things I saw was this, what it had created for so many people was like a super highway connection to God, Source, Jesus,
Right.
whoever you want to work with or do work with. But it was like that whole pathway, because, everything we do is related to the pathways in our lives and our brains. This one was now wide open. Yeah. And that was very encouraging. I was very excited to see that. I still am. I'm watching it closely, and I see how much easier it is for people to just latch onto that frequency and follow it. And so for that, I'm grateful. For the other stuff, no. But for this, I'm grateful that people are reaching out to Source and finding a connection that they may not have had before, or the connection wasn't as strong. So that is a step in the right direction.
I agree.
Good.
I think that it's way overdue that we band together on a positive note. Mm-hmm. All through a tragic happening, that it's a shame that that's what takes us to get to the point where we're ready to really go forward.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what transpires, because this movement is far from over.
Yeah.
I do feel that his wife will be stepping up and become a very major force. It's going to be interesting to see what she will do. And she still has those 2 youngsters to take care of. So it's going to be a little difficult watching what will be taking place. But I think she'll have enough people band together to assist her that she'll be able to accomplish what they had planned a long time ago, because they were a team.
They really were a great team.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I did want to mention, I don't know if our audience is aware of Kim Clement, but Kim was a prophet years ago. He is no longer living. And somebody played a clip from him giving a prophecy about a woman who would come midterm in the presidency with beautiful eyes, which Erica certainly has, gorgeous green eyes.
Definitely.
And that she was virtuous and this, and it was like he was just talking about her. And meanwhile, Kim's been dead for years, but talking about her leading this movement further, just like you said. So very interesting. Kim Clement's prophecies have come to pass so many times. And I really, hopes and prayers are with this beautiful lady and being able to pull through this tragedy the way she's walking it very gracefully, I have to say. I don't know many people who have that kind of strength, but she's showing the way. And this is feminine energy, feminine divine energy, and perfect to introduce our guest tonight.
Yes.
Let me tell you about our guest. She's amazing, okay? She's amazing, of course, because that's all we have on the show is amazing people. Of course.
We would not think otherwise.
I know, really. Dr. Yafi Yair is a doctor of clinical psychology and hypnosis, an intuitive and a multidimensional channel. She's got it all. She brings light language and verbal transmissions from the divine feminine Hathor, Isis, Viola, the fairy, and earth elements, among others. She also authored the books Conversations with the Earth and Conversations with Hathor. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Dr. Yafi, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure.
Yes, so glad you're here. So the divine feminine energy is what we're going to be talking about, right? This is a big part of your practice and your life. So how did you come to this?
Yeah, and it's a big part for humanity too. The rising of the divine feminine in our society, in people's both individual lives, and again, as a society, as a humanity, is a major point of breakthrough in our society and a way to bring us back to balance. Now, a little bit about myself and how I got to this.
Yes, how did this happen?
So I'm a doctor of clinical psychology. So I also have a very scientific left brain part of me that was leading the way for many, many years. And then around 2012, I had my latest spiritual awakening. And at first it was very general. It was just this inner spark awakened within me. Anything that has to do with spiritual or paranormal, which I know you gals are all about. I just, my curiosity just exploded, and I started reading about it and just being interested. And within a few months of this specific recent awakening, my mother, who was my best friend, we were very, very close, was diagnosed with cancer, and within 2 months transitioned. It happened very, very fast.
Oh my goodness, it's so fast.
Yes, she was 63, so she was young.
Oh my
And it really propelled my spiritual journey, and it made it very, very personal. So I no longer was just interested in spirituality. It was a meaningful, urgent, personal journey. And I wanted to connect with her. I wanted my spiritual curiosity to become more of a reality, because as I said, it was really left brain in addition to being intuitive and creative. So I really kind of walked the line, and it took me a while to make the leap of faith and to really be invested in spirituality as a reality and not just as a curiosity, not just as an interest. And it, as I said, it really became this big awakening. I started communicating with my mom at first through actually direct communication, which I was not used to, and then through lucid dreaming, which was also a new reality and fascination for me. And I started also going to the Monroe Institute. So again, I developed my exploration of consciousness and familiarity with different states of consciousness, which was really, really significant in me being able to connect psychically, intuitively, and eventually to take it all the way to channeling, which is one filter less, so an even shorter bridge to be a direct channel to information. And that specific journey began approximately 5 years ago. I was doing psychic work before, and I actually did some channeling before, but it was a little too woo-woo for me, not verifiable enough. So I kind of wasn't sold on it. I did a couple of channeling groups, and the group I was with was very excited and fully on board. And I was feeling like, how do I really know I'm not making it up? I don't know. So I just walked away from channeling until approximately 5 years ago, when I did this long form training with Lyssa Royal Holt. And within the training playground, I felt comfortable exploring and trying different things. And, you know, it's very different if you're doing it professionally and you're charging people versus you're just playing around with other people that are training to become channelers. Exactly. So having that framework of play and of training and really made a very big difference for me. And it was also the time of COVID shutdown. So there was really not too much to compete for my time in life. Right. And it gave me an opportunity to really throw myself into the practice. And that's what I did. So in addition to my hour-long daily meditation, I added the breath work practice and the specific meditation practice for channeling and the body work. It was very advanced training with a lot of components. And I had all these hours a day that I could dedicate to it. And I did. And I practically never stopped. Not with the body work and everything, but with the practice of channeling. It really became my passion, my life, my joy. And took my spiritual journey, both personally and then professionally, but it really always starts with personal first, to the next level. And Hathor, the divine feminine, was one of the first sources that came through to me in that training of channeling. And I didn't know who Hathor was when she first came. In fact, it sounded this really masculine warrior, Hathor. So, you're right. Yes, and I had zero knowledge of mythology. I was never very history oriented. So I really just had no point of reference. But the people I was with knew the name Hathor, and fortunately for me, knew what to ask. And as soon as she came to me, as soon as I channeled her, again, I expected this stern male energy. I felt this softness and this nurturing, loving, very expansive. So comparing to other sources that I channeled, Hathor felt very expansive and very loving. They're all loving, but her love or their love, it's really a them/her, felt now I know it felt very motherly. At the time, I really didn't have words for it other than just loving, expansive, and soft, although at the same time was very stern, very grounded. And I started channeling Hathor, and she was talking about the frequency of gold energy and about different aspects of ancient Egypt. And also of the fact that their essence is not really just Egypt. So we know the name Hathor from ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, she was a goddess. That's how we know the name Hathor. But through me, they said, yes, but Hathor is one name. We were given so many different names over different civilizations, different eras. And they gave me some examples. They said the name Aphrodite and Venus, even the name Kuan Yin. They're all referring to the same essence of this archetypal mother, the divine feminine, that is extremely significant for humanity and been interacting with humanity, especially in times of extreme changes, times that are very significant. That's where contact really ramps up. And that's also where they overlap with extraterrestrials and that reality and that form of contact. And that's really what happened in ancient Egypt. That's why they have these stories of all these gods, but they were not etheric gods. They were physical beings that walked among them and interacted with them. So they were really advanced galactic beings that were perceived by the people as gods. And today we're actually called to have a different relationship with them. So these are once again times of monumental and intense changes. Humanity and the whole earth is going through transformation. And once again, they're here with us. First, contact is made for us humans only via consciousness. So people like me that are channelers. Then it comes into people, into their lives in different ways. So they reawaken their relationship with nature, with Mother Nature, with animals around them, with plants. They reawaken their relationship with music and sometimes dancing, movement. These are all different aspects or connection points to the divine feminine. Of course, creativity. So many people in recent years have rediscovered their creativity and connecting to different creative outlets. Even channeling, in a way, is a creative outlet. So there are all these mini awakenings within people's personal lives, and there is the collective awakening. And then contact is becoming more and more physical in our perception, and that is also a part of preparation for more physical contact, not only with them, but also with them, which is really, really exciting for me. So after several years of me channeling the Hathors, I was channeling during a conference. So it wasn't even the comfort of my little Sunday group, my familiar group. And all of a sudden they announced towards the end of the transmission and the Q&A that they are here again in the physical, on the planet.
Really?
In a secure, yes, in a secure location. And this is really moving towards face-to-face physical contact, which is, I couldn't think of anything more exciting than that.
I know it. Now, so have you had that happen yet?
Not in terms of like face-to-face physical people.
Yeah.
So but I've had, for example, when I call for contact, for physical contact, so several things. So one thing that's really, really obvious, there's a specific golden orb. I call it an orb, but it's really, really bright. It looks like a very bright star, but it can also come during daylight or nighttime. So this very, very bright golden light that moves in ways that is not a shooting star or a satellite. So it would move in a curved way, or two of them would cross, or something unusual would happen. So there's a golden light that I've seen, and other people have seen it too. It's not only me, with me, when I've made contact. So that's one way. And in a more day-to-day life, when I specifically focus on contact, I start getting a lot of contact with animals. So really unusual animals would come to me. So I had a hawk.
Okay.
Just yesterday, it was an otter. And he was standing on the grass looking at me as I was walking towards. It was just strange. So I have these animal interactions when I focus on contact work. So for me, and I know for many others, but it took me a while to kind of come to grasp with that it's a layer of contact.
Oh my goodness. So this is very exciting. So you're saying that these beings are here on the planet in the physical in a secure location.
Yes.
So they must be planning on walking the earth so that at some point you could see them.
Exactly. I think they're already walking the earth, but right now, for many reasons, but also energetically, we cannot quite come face to face with them or maybe even perceive them fully. And I used to think that it's only consciousness. We're preparing consciousness with our minds, with our paradigms, right? Kind of understanding the idea of this is real and this is here. And then last year I had an experience where I was in Mount Shasta. It was the first year I was doing Lemuran Life Expo. And we were actually driving back from the expo towards the airport. And I was with my driver assistant friend, and we were talking about the expo and how we really felt the presence of Hathor and the different things that came up. And all of a sudden, I feel the presence getting closer and closer and closer. And it was as if somebody was raising the voltage of electricity in my body. And at first it was just the familiar sensation of getting closer, and then it got more intense and more intense and more intense. And at some point, my chest felt like it was pressed outward, but so hard, I thought I was going to explode.
Oh, no.
And I'm so not fear-based, but I just couldn't take it. And I just jumped, and I like this with a deep breath, and it disappeared as soon as I did. And I was like, oh my God. And the person next to me, my assistant, my friend, who is in my Sunday groups, is very familiar with their energy, said, oh yes, I really feel them so close. I really felt their presence. And I was like, really? What did you feel? Because I thought maybe we felt the same thing. And he said, oh, it was so beautiful and loving. And I thought my body was going to explode, get hurt somehow. So
That's so
So I'm not sure how to explain it. Later, analyzing it and also sharing it with certain people, I think the conclusion is that they're preparing to come into my body, not just physical proximity. And that is why it felt that way. And I have been zapped before. I have had the experience of being zapped, which is very, very intense. It definitely has to do with energy coming in and out. It doesn't happen to me when I'm channeling. I don't think I would be able to handle that.
So basically, you're talking about making the transition from the type of channeling you do now to being a full trance channel, where you kind of have to move out of it.
I think maybe it's going to be a part of. Well, I'm not sure. The truth of it that I just don't know. But my feeling, my sense of it, that it is not about me doing a different type of channeling, but me being a bridge for contact. So maybe if they're, and again, it's really maybe, it's wild speculation. Maybe if they can inhabit me more fully, maybe, I don't know, maybe they can even change my form and through me communicate, interact with other people. Mm-hmm. Because even as a channel, I am a bridge for their energy, for their frequency, for their essence. So I'm thinking maybe this is a different level of being that bridge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So yes, when people come to you to work with you individually, does Hathor, do you always have Hathor channeling through you, or do you do other things instead? And then if Hathor shows up, that's okay.
Well, it depends. So people can do different things with me. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm a doctor of clinical psychology. I do readings. I do light work and energy work. So it really depends what they're coming for and what they're interested in. But if they're specifically coming for channeling, I always call Hathor for several reasons. So I've been working with them closely for, like I said, knowingly 5 years. I'm sure much before that. But in my consciousness, 5 years, like very, very closely, full time. I've channeled many other sources, but with them, there's such a familiarity and such comfort. And also it's about the way they operate. They're really good conductors. So they can bring through any other energy that is needed and also connect to any other source that is needed. So for example, I used to think that one of the reasons between channelings and readings is more personal for the person because I'm connecting to their energy field, their records, and I'm getting information specifically about them. Well, when I'm channeling, it's more broad. It's a perspective of the guides, the teachers. And now I'm seeing that when people ask really personal questions, Hathor or my team will just speak to their team. So they can get the same kind of information because sometimes they will give the information not coming from them. They will say your higher self is saying to the person getting the reading, it's saying this and this and that. So yes, I bring forth Hathor, but Hathor is able to connect to whomever is needed to get the proper information or energy.
Yeah. So Hathor has many friends.
Yes, certainly.
Which we like that. That's wonderful. Would you like to see if Hathor wants to talk to us?
Yes, absolutely. Now, would you be interested in any light language or?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Of course. I saw what you did in a video at the Monroe Institute. I used to work there.
Oh, no way.
Millions of years ago when Bob was still alive.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, so I always love it when I have a guest on that has been there, has been through their program, which I think is a great program.
Have you done any of the programs?
Yeah, I used to be a facilitator there.
Oh my goodness.
So I used to
We
help
must have a lot of mutual friends.
Well, I don't know. The people that I used to work with, Scooter and Joe, they don't do so
I
much.
know, yeah, but I know them personally.
Yeah, I've known them for almost 35 years.
Oh, that's amazing.
I knew them when they first met each other. And of course, then they went on to get married, which was very exciting. And they're still together today. But yeah, I was there when Bob was alive, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
remarkable man.
I'm sure. Of course, I never met him. I mean, I did, but not in the physical.
Not in the physical. Yeah, he was quite the genius.
Yeah, so when people don't know what we're talking about, we're actually talking about Joe McMoneagle, because a lot of people know the name. He's a famous remote viewer.
Yeah.
And
was
we're
not-
talking, and he's married to one of Robert Monroe's daughter, which her nickname is Scooter. So that's what we're talking about.
That's who we're talking about. Yes, we had Scooter on the show. We've had Joe on the show.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like Old Home Week when they're here. But wonderful people, and it's a wonderful program for people to experience when they want to enhance their levels of consciousness. So.
Absolutely. And the Gateway program is just one. There's so many that you can explore and build on. And later this month, I'm going back to do Starlines 2. Starlines 1 is where I met Viola the Fairy.
Great.
So yes, the stories can be endless. So
Yes.
light language and field tuning. The Hathor introduced field tuning, the term to me, which is basically similar to light language, but it's also different tones and sounds. And they call it field tuning because they interact with our field, our energetic field, and have us resonate in coherence, first internally and then with each other, which amplifies our field even more. So they'll start with that, and then they'll talk to you.
Oh, great. We're excited.
Okay? Wonderful. All right, I'm going to go inward and call them. And as I said, they'll start with some field tuning and light language, and then you'll take it from there.
Okay.
Onariaka rastiana tara hamayane katara na 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 na. Nuristiane katara niyama haryani kitara niyaka hayana. Uhoma hareyenaha. Nuroyena haraneya homaraya hetrano homarineya uroyena okrohomariena kirenaya homaya Huronayenaha. Etrianikatarastiano om. Greetings and blessings to you.
Greetings.
Greetings. It is our pleasure to be here. There are actually a lot of entities here that are either listening to the transmission or are actually ready to jump in and converse if the topic deemed appropriate. We will start by briefly describing the field tuning that we have done. So different people may have felt it differently. We always love hearing comments of how each individual felt it, but we were focusing on the head at this very short transmission. We were helping ease some tension in the back of the head. There's a lot of happening, a lot of energy shifting. Many people, as a result, are either having headaches or pressure around here or different systems, including their ears. As a result, we took this opportunity to do some adjustments in the energy of the head and also include the energies of the new moon to help people both soothe, but also to invite new energy into their system.
I'm feeling it.
Excellent. Where would you like to take the conversation today?
Let's talk about how people can connect. How can we connect? We'll make it more personal. How can we connect more powerfully to the multidimensional energy that you carry?
Yes. So there are many, many ways to connect to our essence. One way, often when people ask that, they mean direct connection, such as this vehicle, such as in meditation. And we will say, yes, indeed, that is one way to connect. If you have an intention, if you place as your goal, as your focus, to have direct contact with us, your intention plus a practice to have a follow through to that intention could be sufficient. So, for example, if you meditate even 10 minutes every day with the intention to invite the divine feminine or Hathors into your essence, into your energy, and you do that repeatedly, that is enough. Similarly, if before you go to sleep, you place the intention to make contact with us, direct contact with us, and you do so repeatedly, that is enough. This is enough to make a personal connection that is palpable, that you can actually feel and recognize. Now, additionally, there are different ways to connect with our essence that are in some ways less direct, because to your human perception, you are not communicating with an entity directly. However, in other ways, it is more direct because it enters your everyday life. So, as you briefly mentioned before in the conversation, the connection to music and to the human voice and to movement in a flowing, enjoyable way is a direct connection to your own divine feminine within. Another example is water. We are highly connected to the frequency of water. Water in its essence carries a lot of feminine essence within it. As a result, if you interact with the water, especially flowing water, you are either the water is flowing or you are moving within the water. You are connected to the divine feminine. Now, everything that we are mentioning, it is all about your intention and your practice within the practice. So we are mentioning activities, but it's really about the beingness within those activities. Let us give an example for that as well. If you are in water, but you are swimming, and you are swimming intensely with the intention to exercise and strengthen your muscles and strengthen your body, as wonderful as it is, and we encourage that behavior, it is not a behavior that will attune you or connect you to the divine feminine. However, you can be in the same pool of water or ocean, but instead of swimming hard with the intention for exercise, maybe you swim fluidly. Maybe you just hang around the water, or however you would like to enjoy this water. That will attune you to your own inner feminine essence, and connecting inwardly with your own feminine essence will then connect you to the divine feminine. It is just another fold, another level, another layer of the same spectrum, the same reality.
Very nice.
Lovely.
Do you have a question, PK?
No, I'm afraid I'm wiggling a lot with my low back, but I apologize for. I'm trying to sit still so I can concentrate. But
does Hathor, do you and your group have any suggestions to help PK alleviate her back pain, which has been going on for years now?
Okay, let us tune into her energy and see what we can find. Okay, so there are a few things. So one, there is a small amount of damage that was created years ago as a result of trauma to the system. But also there is an accumulation of, we would say that the muscles around there could be strengthened in such way that would alleviate the pain. Now, we can also see if we can move some energy with our sound and see if she can feel different in that way. We're removing some of the compression in the lower and lower to mid back. Breathe deeply. Notice that the energy is moving up and not down as you would usually expect. The reason for that is that there is some compression in the lower back. So the vertebrae are compressed on each other, but we helped it a little bit by alleviating the compression and creating more distance between the vertebrae. So that may temporarily alleviate the pain. And that may help you then take action in strengthening and stretching this area regularly to keep up with the ease.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
How many entities are you?
Within the Hathor collective, there are 144,000 units. And in addition to our units, there are many individuals and collectives that are listening in on the conversation. And not just this one, but there are many, many on this one that are either different galactic groups or different guides. So for example, right now, because the two of you are present and there is another person present, your teams and your guides are, and some of your past loved ones are here joining in excitement, listening to the transmission because they are here with you and your energy that you bring.
Yeah, it felt kind of busy.
It is very busy on our end right now.
Do you have any other messages for us individually?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we will say that much is coming and much good is coming. And we want you to rest assured that all the mayhem and the pain that you are seeing around you, it is not pointless. It is here to be transmuted. It is here to allow the transformation of individuals and of humanity as a whole. You are standing right now at the edge of a cliff. As a result, from the cliff, you could see all that is wrong, all that is broken, all that is dark. But because you are standing on the edge of the cliff, all you have to do is turn around the other way, and you notice all the love and connections that are happening. You can look ahead, which is the future, but you don't have to see the future. You could just look the other way and feel in your heart the heart of humanity that is growing and opening, even to such topics such as discussed here. This is one of the indications of this opening, of this expansion. So remember to look the other way so you can also see and feel all the beauty and all the love that is here. And this is the direction that you are all moving towards. But you first need to see the whole picture, which includes the less pleasant side of the cliff with all the chaos. It is all a part of the same beautiful transformation.
Interesting.
Well, thank you so much.
Definitely.
Lovely.
You are most welcome. And we know this is just the beginning. We invite you to work with us on a personal level so you can further connect to the essence of that love and that trust and that support, truly knowing that you're not alone and surrounded by so much love.
Thank you.
And with this, we will take the back seat once again and bring you Yafi back.
I don't know how you do it because there are so many entities there.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, whoa. I mean, it's amazing you can keep a train of thought with all of this. I don't think we've ever had anybody with us on the show that was managing that many.
Really?
For sure. For sure.
You know, channeling, so the challenge is both energetic, right? So I have to maintain my body really high frequency. I get super hot when I channel. But also mentally, the main challenge is to keep the focus, right? So that's what I'm doing inside there. I'm holding the space, and it's very active. It's not just passive, right? I'm not just floating in the background. I have to keep this intense focus. It is a lot of work.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, you do it so well, but I can see the challenge in that. So
thank you. Yes, it is. It's exhilarating and it's challenging, and in some ways it's kind of the work that we're all called to do, right? We're not all called to be channelers, but it's the work that we're all called to do as a part of this transformation. So being even more accountable for our own thoughts, our own feelings, our own energy, taking care of our bodies, and realize that it's our privilege to take care of these bodies rather than a burden, or rather than fight with the body. It's our privilege to take care of this beautiful device and vehicle that does so much for us and does such a good job at recuperating and taking in all the junk that we give it and still keeping us going.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all part of this journey. So you don't need to be a channeler to actually face the same challenges, but just in a different way, whether it's finding deeper inner trust or being called to reduce judgment, but really increase discernment. These are all the same lessons that we are all going through right now.
It was a very interesting experience when you first started the channeling. not that this would be unusual because you are channeling Hathor, but I mean, the third eye symbol was right there and full color. I wonder if that is that a symbol for the entity group? Because it was,
no, it's not even common. Usually when they do transmission, they do not focus on the head. So this was very, very unusual. And I felt it, and it was very intense. For me, it made me even hotter, even sweatier. And I could feel they really, really focused on the head, and I could feel the pressure in the head. But that's very unusual. They usually don't focus too much on the head. It's usually heart and spine, and they often ground the energy. This time it was very in the head.
Yeah, it really was. The other place I felt it at the beginning was in the throat.
Yeah.
Area that
I was getting that too.
You did. Yeah, you
So
got
that's your own throat activating.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm activating.
PK, did you feel anything in your back?
Just a little bit. Unfortunately, I pulled it a little bit more today than I usually do. So sitting still is not part of my forte for the day. And I'm trying so hard not to be trying to get up and turn around, but I wish there was something that could come to it enough to balance me out. Because between my low back, my brain starts trying to figure out a way of fixing it. And the best thing I should do is leave it alone and let it just calm down. But instead, I wiggle like a little 5-year-old. And it's so embarrassing to sit here. I'm trying to get comfortable, not let anybody see. Of course, I have living color. Woo!
The way they were showing it to me from the inside is the lower, I'm not a medical doctor, the lower 3 vertebrae felt like they were very tight together.
I have fractures in the back area. So that's part of what the problem is. And so after a little bit of moving around, then I end up getting where I can't sit still. I'm trying to find a space that's going to feel comfortable. And I'm worse than a little kid worming their way through whatever. And I'm sitting there trying to be nice, pushing against the back of the chair, pretending nobody's going to see what I'm doing, but I'm going like this all over the place. Oh, God. And you are so good and so interesting to listen to it. I felt so bad because there I am wiggling and I'm going, oh, God, can I just stop?
It's hard when you're in chronic pain. That is a real challenge. Yeah.
I keep trying to figure out a direction I could go, and I go,
You know, Joe McMoneagle is in a lot of pain.
Yes, he is.
Partially because of the Michelob Ultra that he was a part of, and he's still suffering nerve damage from those experiments, military experiments. And so he's in a lot of chronic pain. And he uses the pain, and he goes very deeply, of course, as a remote viewer, as a meditator, as a psychic, and he has amazing psychic abilities. And his pain is a gateway for him to connect. And when they tried to give him medicine to ease the pain, he couldn't handle it. But it took away his... And when he told me the story, when he told us, I was in a group at the Monroe Institute, I couldn't really relate to it. Why would pain help you connect? And only in recent years, and the channeling has been a big part of that realization, I realized how important it is to be grounded in order to connect. So as a channeler, the first thing that happens to me, I was hooked up to a chakra machine and I put myself in a channeled state and then out, and I could see the difference immediately, which was amazing. So the first thing that happened to me in terms of my chakras, that my root chakra went, and my second chakra, by the way, as if to boost the first chakra, went down a little. And my root chakra really expanded. And then my throat chakra and my, I think, crown or third eye expanded. Maybe just my throat. I don't remember. But the first thing that happened was the root chakra. So the first thing and that was not my intention. My intention was just putting myself in that channeled state. So that physical groundedness to really be in your body is extremely significant and important for connection. So now knowing that, I think I understand that this high level of pain keeps him really, really connected to the body. And in some way, it allows him to connect even more deeply.
Interesting. Yeah, we've been talking a lot on the show about grounding. And there's a big difference we found between the people we've had on the show that are grounded. It's like the message gets across much more easily. People understand it. They don't question, is this real or is this fake? They just go with it. And I think you're so right about that. Grounding is so important. And I think, some people find that metaphysical, multidimensional connection when they have a lot of trauma and a lot of pain, which Joe certainly has had.
Yeah, so, and there are different layers to it. So you have the physical grounding, right? The being in your body, being even the physical trauma. It's so physical. But then you have the grounding that is more energetic. And usually when you hear the word grounding, that's what people talk about. So they talk about going gardening, stepping outside with bare feet, or even taking a shower, moving, eating is very grounding. So a lot of channelers that don't have high awareness of health, they eat to ground themselves. So so there was a channeler, I won't mention his name because he's very big, and I think he doesn't do it anymore. I don't know. But years ago, I actually went and I saw a conference with him, and he channeled, and he would sit down, and I'm not exaggerating, with those huge cups with 5 of those of soda. He would just drink soda the whole time he was channeling because it was hours. For 5 hours, it would down 5 of this huge, and the sugar. Yes. And only when I started channeling, I understood it. The sugar really does ground you. The food really does ground you. It feeds your body. You're going through a lot of energy, and then it's like I sweat so much when I channel, and I'm not a sweater. Like I don't sweat when I do other things, but when I channel, I do. So sugar and food, I mean, there are better ways to ground, right, than to drink those liters and gallons of soda. But, and he was overweight, and he kept on gaining weight as he was channeling.
Yeah.
So there are different ways to ground. There's different ways to have a relationship with grounding and with your physical body. But both the physical part and the energetic aspect and the mental, right? Staying grounded, staying in this reality, keeping it practical, focusing on your life. Woo is great. Spirit is amazing, but it's all about bringing it here rather than us getting lost somewhere out there.
You've got to get it integrated. Oh my God, you're so right. Well, Dr. Yafi, this has been a wonderful time. I hate to say this, but we're running down the clock here.
Right.
It happens.
But it's been great having you here. It was wonderful meeting Hathor and all of the many friends that he, she, whoever they are, brought with them. Quite a tribe.
Definitely enjoyable.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me here.
Again, I want to mention your book to everybody, which is Conversations with Hathor, Channeling the Divine Feminine. There it is. Beautiful book. And we got to have you back. I'm sure you're going to be writing more about your exciting adventures. So please keep us in the loop with what you're doing.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Again, this has been so much fun. Thank you. And say hi to Scooter and Joe when you see them next month or whenever you're going down there.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. Yes.
Okay. Have a wonderful time.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. This has been so much fun.
Oh, definitely.
I really learned a lot. I feel like after the show, a lot more is going to come from that channel.
Always does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
So we'll be back next week, everybody, with another great show. And until then, we will see you on the Blue Highway. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.